Good evening. It's your girl Tracy AWM, and we are going to talk about period stuff. Yay, period stuff. Because, I mean, periods happen, okay? Periods happen, and for some reason, talking about periods during Carnival is not spoken about. And I really don't understand why people don't talk about periods. Because everybody has periods, and everybody's got periods on their different time. And people just don't want to say anything about it. But we go through this every month, and we go through especially during Carnival. And so we've got to talk about this, right? Because some people, especially like a whole bunch of new masqueraders, they really don't understand like how to navigate Carnival while on their cycle. And so I'm waiting currently for Dr. Lisa McLeod to come into the room. I don't have her number. And I'm definitely going to save this live, guys. I'm definitely going to save it. I'm waiting for her to come into the room so I can invite her on and pull her into the conversation. Me, typically, I don't get my period during Carnival. I just get kind of lucky. It goes at the beginning of the month, and so I know I'm not going to have this problem during Miami Carnival, but I've actually had a few masqueraders hit me up in my DMs, and they're like, yo, help me. And I was like, say less. And so I really wanted to bring on, I mean, I'm a physician assistant. I practice medicine. I could probably give this conversation by myself, but I always like to bring other professionals into the talks whenever it's possible, just to get diverse perspectives, especially when it comes down to OB-GYN stuff. So I'm currently waiting on Dr. Lisa McLeod to come into the room. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, hey, there you are. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm trying to figure out how to... Dr. McLeod, can you please do a request to join the conversation? As a matter of fact, let me see. I can do it myself. Ha! There you go. We'll need the latest. Dr. McLeod, you don't have the latest version of Instagram. Can you upgrade your Instagram and come back? I had no idea Instagram is weird like that. Can you upgrade your Instagram and come right back? Child, I popped in on this. You sure did. I called it a day. I'm on the iPad. Gotcha. Are you able to get on, okay, onto your cell phone? Perfect. Let me know when you are ready. Hopefully we won't have any issues. I hope everybody had a good week. This has been a very, very weird week for me, and I'm actually very tired. I just want to thank everybody for coming into the room, and I'm especially excited to see some guys in here. I see y'all. I see guys in here that said they weren't going to be part of this conversation. They would not be chiming in. And here you are, joining me to talk with Dr. Lisa McLeod about periods. Y'all are the real MVP. So yeah, I was saying this is like a weird week. I'm a little bit tired. I didn't sleep very well last night. I get too excited about stuff and sleep just eludes me. But we're going to catch up. We're going to catch up this weekend. And there we go. We've got the request. Let's see, it should be loading. I accepted your request. So she should be coming in any second.
Oh,
hello.
Let me turn this thing around.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, let me figure out how to turn this damn thing around. Oops. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
Wait, the thing isn't turning.
So you have an iPad or the iPhone?
Now I'm on a Droid.
Oh gosh. There should be like a little arrow.
Oh, I see it. I see it now.
Circle. Oh, hey.
Wait,
oh,
shit.
Change it back. Hey. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming on. I think I don't remember how I started following you. This was like a long time ago, but it was your content.
Thank you.
I think it's really important to have Black females in the medical profession, let alone in OB-GYN. It's very, very important. And I can relate to some of the challenges that I've had as a patient, talking to, other providers. And I feel like my concerns weren't appropriately being addressed, especially as it pertains to my lady part health. And so any Black female OB-GYN, I'm immediately following. I don't care.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for your time. We're going to talk about Carnival on your period because people don't really want to feel comfortable talking about it. And because people don't openly talk about it, they end up going out to play mass. And next thing you know, we're seeing tampon strings, panty liners, You know, I think I've seen a tampon on the road before. Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
that's gruesome.
I've seen some very, very interesting things. And so I think this talk is especially important, especially because whether or not people like it or not, the carnival experience, even though it's a lot of fun, it can be very unhygienic because we got germs.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
got a lot of them.
you got to go squat to pee, or you got to use a porta john. You know, like so.
Or you come to me and I show you how to pee standing up.
Okay, see, nobody wants to talk about that either. And she got a drink. I forgot my tea. But nobody wants to talk about these things. Nobody wants to talk about me peeing to stand up. I use a pee style. And I started using a pee style because my last duty station, I was in the field.
Yeah, no.
And
I said I was going to. Yeah, no, I said I was going to develop something, I think, where you can teach women abroad, like when you're in situations like that, where women should know how to pee standing up. Yep. And it's actually something that's easy to do, but that's another talk. But you can definitely, the basics of it is just, if you just pull your lips up, it'll direct the stream forward. So that's the short of it. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Yeah.
You see my little gears?
You part the big lips.
Uh-huh.
Then the little ones.
Uh-huh.
And then you can I demonstrate? You stand.
Uh-huh.
Like this.
Uh-huh.
And you pull your lips up. You see me moving?
Oh, wow.
If you pull your lips up, it's going to direct your urethra forward.
Wow. And you can I had no idea.
Yeah. Next time I'm going to charge for that one. No.
Right? I had no idea I have a little device. I'm afraid to try it though, but maybe I might try. I'll put it in my
You know what I tell people? It's gross as it may sound. Actually practice in the shower.
Yeah.
Because then if you practice in the shower, you learn how to because everyone's lips are different. So you'll learn how to separate your lips and direct your flow. So I know. Yeah. I know we weren't expecting that one. Yeah. Sorry.
My mind is really blown. No more squatting? Even for thick girls. This is going to work for thick girls too. Because, you know.
It's all about anatomy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all about your anatomy.
Heck yeah. I'm going to start practicing. Hey, love always, Jean. You DM me and let me know how it goes. I really want to know if anybody's going to try this technique.
You got to try it. It really works. It's a lifesaver when you got those porta potties or you've got these big costumes on.
Huh.
Yeah, where are you going to go? How are you going to get in the porta potty?
I've always taken mine off and given my backpack to somebody while I went inside.
You ain't got time for that. It's Carnival.
Yeah. I'm so going to try it.
Yeah.
DMV's D Navigator said he's here for the knowledge. That's what's up. Spread the knowledge. So
I appreciate that.
I'm going to try that thing with the lady bits. You mean I don't have to have my pee style clipped to my bag no more?
No, no, we're not going to do that. No, because we got you out in the field, so we got to make sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely going to try it. Okay. So Carnival on your period. A lot of people want to know how to navigate, and there's some questions that were in here. Somebody really wanted to know how do they take care of their cramps? What is the best way to navigate cramps and playing mass?
The best way to navigate the cramps would be to take some kind of ibuprofen or Aleve prior to the cramps starting. Yeah. So let's just say your period is coming. The best thing is to get an ibuprofen or an anti-inflammatory. That's going to help with cramps. You want to do that ahead of time. So you want to get ahead of the curve. Besides taking pills, I see someone wrote pills, but if you're just talking like you're not on any kind of contraceptive and you just want something to mitigate cramps alone, start taking ibuprofen beforehand. Like when you know your period is coming, start ahead of time. So you're going to take it like every 4 to 6 hours religiously if you have the cramps or not. So that will keep the pain fibers at bay. So you just want to start doing that, especially for the first 48 hours. And
I think the biggest thing is maintaining that dose
on
a schedule. A lot of people sometimes don't understand what a half-life is with medication. And and they just like, oh, I took it. Well, how long ago? Like yesterday. Like, no, sis, you got to keep it in your system. So start taking your anti-inflammatories a few days before your cycle and keep it on a schedule. Cool.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
So I want to add to that. I'm glad you mentioned that about half-lives, because a lot of people don't understand that and they think you just take it at that moment. So no, medicine has a half-life. So it's a time period for which it's in your system. So you want to take it. You have your 4 hours. And again, if you've got the pain or not, take it again. Because by taking it again, you're allowing those fibers to just stay. First of all, you're allowing everything to stay kind of on a low scale. But instead of waiting for those fibers to keep twitching and you're at this level of pain before you take the medicine, and then you have to come down again, then you wait till you go up and you have this level of pain, then it has to come down again. Whereas what you want is a steady state. So by taking the medicine consistently, you'll keep yourself at a steady state. So that's what you're looking to achieve.
Silker Pro wanted to know about natural remedies. That's a tough one for me because I'm only allowed to talk about evidence-based medicine.
Yes, right. So that's what I figured. Uh-oh, yeah. I see who's talking. Sorry.
Some people talk about vinegar, and I'm like, huh?
Well, I would have to say valerian root is one that I found. Magnesium, as my doula, my sister, my doula mother nurturer put in here. Yes, my sis. Magnesium is great for cramps everywhere in your abdomen or uterus, as well as like say in your legs. After a day of fetting, magnesium is going to help with that. Valerian root is also something that you can take that would help with the cramping or with any kind of pains that you have.
That's awesome. So valerian root and magnesium. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
And then
definitely the valerian root, you can get in a tincture. And the magnesium, you can get just regular pills. I wish I had stuff down here because I would show you a good magnesium oxide, but definitely.
And does that also help you kind of recover a little bit faster with all of the fetting that you've been doing too?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
So it's a win-win.
It's definitely a win-win situation.
I'm gonna try that. So you just knocking me upside the head with all the pearls of wisdom. We could learn about how to pull my coochie lips up, and now I'm learning about magnesium and valerian root. This is dope.
Yeah, no, that's I hope to impart a little bit of information to the women and men here. So my pleasure.
So for women that are on their cycle, and let's say they're on birth control, like what are your recommendations for women that are currently on birth control pills about navigating their cycle?
If you're on pills already and your pills have been consistent, like you haven't had any problems, say with your pills where you're spotting outside of the cycle or spotting outside of the placebo week. If you've got the placebo week coming, the placebo week means that week of pills where the color changes, or those are the sugar pills, or that's, you got one there? Oh, that's the week where you're going to get your period. Instead of allowing that placebo week to come, you can start a new pack. So if you're already on pills, that's the way to handle it. You start a new pack of pills and then you won't see your cycle. That's called continuous dosing.
Awesome. And so I've done that before, especially like when I've been on my deployments and things. I think I used like Yaz or Yasmin. And I think that was a continuous pack. But I started to notice that over time, depending on how long I was on that birth control, even though I was skipping and going directly, I would still have some breakthrough spotting. And for those ladies that have actually skipped their cycle by going from pack to pack, what are your recommendations for Carnival for those people that may have that breakthrough?
If you have the breakthrough, then double up.
Oh, okay.
One of the things that you want to look at is if you look on the pills themselves, it's going to say how much estrogen is in them as well as how much progesterone. So the estrogen that we give nowadays and what we all call low dose pills are going to have between 10 and 35 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol. So what you can do is you can take 2 of those pills, even if it's 25, it will put you at 50, but you're not doing this long term. So you're just doing this to stop the bleeding. So you actually can take more than one pill. So if you start having the breakthrough, especially if you're on like a 10 or a 20, Again, I'm talking about micrograms of ethinyl estradiol. And again, it'll be found on the pack of your pills. If you're taking something that's a 10 or a 20, you can double up with no problem. You can double up for a few days, and that would stop your bleeding. And this is actually...
Sorry, go ahead.
And what I'm talking about now is something that we would actually even do if you came into, say, the emergency room and you're having heavy, heavy bleeding and you want your cycle to stop. We can do this taper dose like this, even in the emergency room, or I do this with patients all the time. So it's not something that's, you know, innovative or new. It's something that we are actually already do.
Gotcha. And so for those that intend on skipping their pack, they probably should start maybe a few days before and not wait till the day that their period is actually supposed to start.
Yes. No, please start a few days before, if not even a week before.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And so for what are your recommendations for women that don't want to be on their period, but they're not on any type of birth control?
Well, my recommendation would be to be on something. Because again, I practice evidence-based medicine, so I don't know what other alternatives exist out there besides saying like taking some kind of hormonal-based contraception. Now that could be pills, that could be a vaginal ring. Vaginal rings are pretty convenient because you put the ring in and you just take it right out after 3 weeks. So I would say start something. You can start anything, even if you're opposed to say, you know, you're not interested or you're not into contraceptives. If you're interested in stopping it, this is one way to get that done. Again, we're talking specifically for Carnival, even Ramadan. So I talk to a lot of Muslim women, the same thing, who don't want to have cycles during certain prayers. So who continue taking something even during Ramadan.
So I know one of the things I've actually read that some women go in and they try to talk to their doctors and they try to get on like norethindrone for a few days. Is that considered safe practice?
Norethindrone is the progesterone only. It can be unpredictable. So that's why I like using combination pills. If it's someone who hasn't been on a birth control before, I would start with something at probably about a 25 micrograms of ethinyl estradiol. So like orthotricycline. I would give even Yaz, which doesn't actually give ethinyl estradiol like that, but I would use like Yaz, or I would use orthotricycline, but I wouldn't use something like low estrogen or low estrogen because they can be too low and it may not stop it. So it may not work. So I'm interested in giving you something that is going to work, that I know is going to work.
Gotcha. So make sure you ladies, if you're trying to not have your period, you need to go talk to your provider.
Yes, please talk to your provider.
And even as we're talking about suggestions and ideas, you still need to consult your provider before you do those things, just to be as a safety blanket. So we talk about different like menstrual devices for women. Me personally, I love a cup. I swear by the
meant to bring things with me. Darn it! Well, I should have gone upstairs and get cups and all this stuff.
I was like, I'm not gonna get on here and show them my Diva cup. I use it, you know. Like it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna buy a brand new one because it's like $40. But a Diva cup, I love a Diva cup mainly because I'm at a point now. I've had my IUD for like a year and some now. My cycles are very, very, very light. But when they weren't light, that cup was amazing. You know, it was like set it and forget about it for a lot longer. And because it's made of silicone, it's a lot safer to wear than a tampon. But, you know, cups can be a little bit messy. What are your recommendations on people that are actually interested in trying a cup?
Don't do it for Carnival.
Yeah. Yeah.
For people, the reason I say don't do it for Carnival is because the cup can actually take some time to get adjusted to using. They have some commercially available cups in like the CVS, Walmart, or whatever, your pharmacy of choices. And those cups are like single use. So you can put those in and to just get an idea or a feel for if you like having something inside. For those who don't know, the Diva cup or even these disposable cups that I'm speaking of are cups that are inserted into the vagina. They're circular. and you squeeze them and push them inside. When you release them, they deploy and they would be surrounding the cervix. So any blood that's coming out would fall into the cup. Now, for some women who have very heavy flows, this may not be the ideal way to go for them because it may not capture all of their menstrual bleeding. But for those women, one, you can't be, one, you have to be comfortable with your body. And it's not for everyone. So for women who are comfortable with their body, you squeeze the disposable cup and put it in. The Diva cup is something that you can wash out and you can use over and over. There are a couple of different brands and they can come in different sizes, because what I've also seen is women who've had children may find that their vaginas have a lot more space or laxity, having pushed out ahead. So they might need a different size cup. Or even a different brand. So if someone has tried a cup before and it hasn't worked for them, it doesn't mean that cups are totally out for you. It just means that that brand may be out for you and you should try something else.
I think I tried 2 or 3 different brands, 2 or 3 different months of me waking up and, you know, leaking for me to finally discover that the Diva cup was just the absolute best fit for me. It was just definitely a very expensive trial and error. But I think I've been with the cup for about 3 years now, and I'm definitely not looking back.
Oh, good.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It saves a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's very practical.
Yeah, yeah. So for what are your recommendations for like tampon wear? Like how long should a woman change her tampon? You know, do you recommend tampons for Carnival?
I definitely recommend tampons for Carnival. If you're not going to stop your period, yes, tampons, especially if you can even wear more than one. No one said you can only put one tampon in. So I think that women shouldn't be afraid to reach out and start a second one if, you know, you're worried about, you know, additional flow. But the way tampons are made now, you can keep them in for a number of hours. I don't want to get quoted because I don't know what the labels say, so I can't actually give a time period, but it can last a great number of hours. A good time on the road, I can say. Your tampon can last, provided, again, that you're not someone who has a heavy flow that's going to go through it. Some people are very light on that day, so then they may be able to put in something for the duration of the day. But in terms of the fears that people used to have, there was something called toxic shock syndrome that was caused by keeping tampons in for long periods of time. Right. We don't have that worry anymore. The chemicals that were causing it have been removed from tampons, and there are all cotton tampons now. So you can choose to use a different tampon, ones that contain all cotton, that would have less of the preservatives in it as compared to what was used or what was on the market 40 years ago.
That's awesome. I can't believe I never thought about using more than one tampon.
Definitely.
My mind is seriously like, I didn't think about that. So what do you recommend for string management? Because I've seen a masquerader and she's just having the time of her life, and that little string is just like peekaboo. And I wonder, like, is it, I'm serious. I've seen some very interesting things. Like, you know, for me, I have worn a tampon, and one thing I would do is I would pull the string up and up in between my lips, you know, so they just hold on to it, and so it wouldn't flap out on the sides. But do you recommend that, or what other tips or ideas do you have?
Tuck that string all the way inside, because the thing that's going to happen too is when you urinate, the urine is going to hit the string, and it's actually going to go back up. Yes, the string is creating a wick. So if you tuck the string inside, you're not actually soaking back urine, because what a lot of women don't notice or may not appreciate is that the string has to be inside, or otherwise when you just pee, even when you're not taking out the tampon, the urine is going to get sucked up into the bottom of the tampon, and it's going to make the tampon full with urine.
So, and that's one of the things I realized. I would pull the string up, and I would pull it off to try to pull it off to the side and move it to the back, because I was like, is there pee getting in my coochie?
Put the string in all the way. Just take the string and put the string in. Because the thing is, if you're comfortable taking your finger and putting in the tampons to begin with, it takes 2 seconds to just reach in and take the string out. The string is just going to be right there in the inside, just tucked inside. I'm not saying to dig it all the way up in there,
right,
but just tuck the string in a little bit, just a little bit.
And now that I'm hearing all this, it seems so commonsensical, but it's really not. But it's so simple.
No.
It's such a very simple remedy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. People that don't want to, I've actually met people that are absolutely terrified of touching their lady bits. They don't want to put their finger in there. So they prefer to wear a pad. What are your recommendations for the ladies that prefer wearing pads?
Don't cuck up their legs.
Yeah. I mean, had a little
change it frequently and often. So
I mean, do they still have wings on the pads?
Yes,
these days
they still have pads with wings. So yes, Danny, common sense isn't common. I'm seeing some of my friends. Danny commented. Mm-hmm. If you're going to wear a pad, the thinner pads would be preferable, and don't wear like a thong. Like have a more accommodating bottom, mm-hmm. and a panty inside of that bottom. So you've got the panty inside, and then you've got a more ample bottom to cover all of the bits, mm-hmm. including the behind bit. Mm-hmm. And that would help to secure the pad too. And I would say, check on it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to spend the time on the road and not check on it.
And how do you keep yourself clean out there during Carnival? Like, especially when you have to you no longer have to squat to pee, you can put up your lady bits. But when you're managing, like if you have to run to a porta-john or off somewhere to go manage your, your devices, like what recommendations do you have for keeping things as clean as possible and sanitary?
Oh, well, definitely. And again, adding to with this time of COVID, mm-hmm. that we need, yes, we can use wipes, Danny, but we can also, some people aren't carrying wipes, using sanitizers. Having a hand sanitizer, you should always have available. Mm-hmm. But using a wipe, now I don't ordinarily recommend wipes too much because women tend to over wipe. Mm-hmm. And that can introduce another issue with bacterial vaginosis. But in this instance, again, with this talk, I'm focusing more on what you can use during a short period of time, which would be during Carnival time. Mm-hmm. So in this instance, I would say, yes, go ahead and use wipes to keep the lady parts clean. Mm-hmm. To ward off smell. And actually, while I'm on smell, I wanted to say something else. I'm sorry to add this in here, but I wanted to give you one more tip. Deodorant.
Yeah.
Deodorant. No, deodorant on the vagina. Yes.
Wait, back it up. Hold on. Like, you're talking about on the lips, or you talking about like on the mons? Like,
no, on the mons, wherever there are hair-bearing areas, wherever there's a hair. So for men too, if men are in here, you get sweaty balls. Wherever there are hair-bearing areas, you can wear deodorant. So like antiperspirants, for example, just say antiperspirant. They don't say for underarms only. It's an antiperspirant.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, Ariane, you can wear deodorant.
I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm like, yo, I tried a deodorant.
Even if you shaved, yes, you can use a spray deodorant. Some people have spray deodorants. You can use a spray deodorant. You can use an invisible deodorant. But the thing is, you're still going to sweat. Even if you've shaved, you've waxed. For some people who still have hair or a happy trail, mm-hmm. you can use a spray deodorant, or you can use deodorant, but you can also just use your regular old stick. Hair-bearing areas.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what do you so someone's talking about wax. Do you recommend people wax? How far between laser or wax appointments do you recommend people go and play mass before they do this?
Oh, you can get a wax, get off the table and go play mass. But
okay, so the esthetician's always like, don't sweat for 24 to 48 hours. Don't have sex. And you're like, that's not realistic.
That's not realistic. No.
Okay.
No. So you can get up off the table Yes, hair does hold odor, as Danny said. So let me, this Dr. Danny said, I'm going to further go into it. So the reason I said wear deodorant is that because hair tends to hold odor. So it's just like in your underarms. But if we're talking about someone who's shaved, for some are still sweaty, you still have sweat glands there regardless. Right. So I'm just saying to use something. Okay, we know if you know if you're a sweater, or if you're okay, and you've met some people where you're like, you know, so it's for those people that I'm recommending that they use some kinds of deodorants.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So one of the things I know about my body is that I get an increase of like cervical discharge during a certain amount, you know, just depending on where I'm at in my cycle. And sometimes, of course, like, you're like, whoa, what is that? For the other women that are out there that are really nervous about mentioning their cervical discharge, and they kind of have an idea as to when that's going to happen. What are your recommendations for Carnival if they know that they have an uptick because, you know, what it can do to the panty and stuff? What are your thoughts?
So first, I'm just going to extrapolate more on what it is that you're saying, because I think that a lot of women don't know. And this is actually one of the reasons I went into obstetrics. Because I couldn't understand what this stuff was coming outside of me, and it was getting on my underwear, and it leaves like the little crusty stuff behind. So what we're talking about is that the week before a woman's cycle, you are going to have an increase in cervical discharge. So that increase in cervical discharge it's a mucusy discharge. It should never have any odor. It should not itch. And it should definitely not smell like fish. That discharge is cervical discharge. It's a mucus discharge, and that's after you would have ovulated. It increases. That discharge often comes out on women's underwear, and they can it leaves like a crusty remnant on the panty. So for those women who are experiencing this a week before their period, especially, you can wear a tampon again, because if you're on the road, I think that, again, this focus is on a specific time period, which would be on the road. You can use a panty liner. You could use a tampon. You could use anything to catch it. But again, if we're talking about those micro bottoms that they have now, the panty liner might not be practical. So you can, although you're not menstruating, use a tampon again for this short time period.
This is not something to be done long term.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to see if there are any other questions in here. Scheduled to start that weekend. Hopefully, she says she's on a birth control. My bottoms are really cheeky. I will be on during the parade. Any advice? I think we covered that. I only wear pads, and my period is supposed to come that week. I don't know what to do, and I'm scared. We hit that. Using the bathroom during Carnival, we talked about that as well. Would you recommend taking pills to start? We covered all of that. So I'm just going through the messages really quick. Tampon changes. Navigate cramps. Okay, I think we covered all of the questions that I got for the chat.
For the people who joins late, I mean, I don't have a problem saying it again. If you're talking about taking your pills, if you're talking about starting something during the Carnival time, I would recommend a pill or even a Nuva ring, which is a vaginal ring, which you can get from your provider. And you would start taking that a few days to even a week before starting your cycle, because that would keep your period at bay. So I would definitely recommend, if you're considering that you just don't want to be bothered with the period, to go ahead and get something like a oral contraceptive pill. And the reason I keep picking oral contraceptive pills, say, as opposed to, say, Depo, is because this is something that you can do for the short term and stop it. You know, you say, okay, Carnival's over, I don't want this anymore, then stop. And the thing about pills is that it's not long lasting in your body, whereas Depo-Provera, which is the shot or injection, can take longer to get out of your system. So I'm recommending pills or even the Nuva ring because it's manageable on the short term.
So if you have a masquerade, they're playing masquerade for the very first time, and they just said, I have to chase every Carnival, or for those veteran masqueraders that are just tired of managing their periods when they play mas. What are your recommendations for those?
I'd say have something on backup. For the person who's going to chase, or who, like, I enjoy my carnivals too, and I'll be in Miami. For the people who want to go out and fet and have a good time, I would say have something on backup. So it may not affect you this time, but I would see my provider ahead of time, get a subscription to something, and keep it on hold. You don't have to start taking it right away. So if I were to say prescribe someone something, it doesn't mean that they have to take it that week, that month, that next couple of months. So I would say get something that you can hold on the side.
Gotcha. I just got a question pop in. Let's see. Any way to combat bloating?
That's a real hard one. Because people bloat for different reasons. So that's why there isn't a clear-cut answer. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm not answering the question, but everyone bloats for different reasons. Some people, you have to go deal with your GI system. Is it a GI issue? Are you drinking any kind of ginger and water? Hot tea. Drink hot tea, a chamomile tea or something that would help with the gases that have built up in your stomach. Because a lot of times bloating is actually from the colon itself.
So I have a question that most guys don't ask. What's the proper way for a man that notices something with a period on the road to bring it up to a woman in the midst of a cultural celebration?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. I would want you to tell me. I'd say pull me aside.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate you, my brother, so much. Oh my God, I would appreciate my brother telling me. So, discreetly, we jamming, even come behind my ear if you can.
Something's wrong with your costume. Can I help you? And then that's a good one. Hey, something's wrong with your costume, and then lead in. So they don't think you're trying to like beef a wine or be a creeper when you're up in their personal space all of a sudden.
Yes, please, my brother.
As soon as you tell a woman there's something wrong with her costume, she's going to listen immediately. Ears up. For real. Yeah, ears all the way up. So the T's, laying on your left side, the gas comes out swiftly. I know me personally, like for some reason when I travel, I bloat. I mean, I could have been having like a good flat abs day, but for some reason, the stress of traveling and air pressure and altitudes, I will bloat. Do the T's help with that as well, or even just stress from travel?
Low salt diet would actually help a lot too, because salt is going to hold on to water, and that's going to cause more bloating.
Okay. Some people.
So watch your salt intake.
Say again?
Sorry.
Watch
your salt intake.
And what are your thoughts on diuretics?
Diuretics? Some people. Diuretics? I don't know diuretics. I know diuretics.
Counter like water pill that you can take for bloating.
Oh, I'm not familiar with diuretics. I know. Okay, so I would imagine. I can't comment on it because I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool.
I know diuretics like hydrochlorothiazide that some people take for their blood pressure. That helps.
We won't be doing that unless you're already on it.
Yeah, unless you're already on that. Yeah, I'm saying if someone's on it. Let me put Achilles food in the
I've had it happen a few times. That's why I'm asking. Most guys I've saw would say you're bleeding, and I'm like, no, don't that face. Yeah, just hey, something's wrong with your costume, and then pull them off to the side and be like, hey, I noticed, whatever. Watch the salt intake, and they have bloating teas that help. I'm going to see if I can put some bloating teas in my cart and take it with me when I head to Miami.
I watch my salt. Watch my diet.
So much today.
Well, I'm glad that was the point.
Yeah, I mean, and I was like, damn, I feel so stupid because why didn't I think of that shit? Like, it's such a simple, resolution, especially with the tampon strings, just putting it in. But I think back to the day, like when I was a little girl and I'm looking at a tampon box and I'm reading the instructions, right? And all you see is the tampon hanging out the coochie. They don't tell you that you can tuck it in. They don't tell you that stuff.
Nah.
Okay. All right. I'll see if anybody else has any other questions. That you guys want to throw in. We definitely covered a lot, and I'm actually looking forward to getting off and going to go try that pee technique because I do have to pee. I swear, I'm gonna try it. I'm definitely
Ginger is great for bloating. I see my friend Nikki put something up, a few people. Ginger is great for bloating. Ginger is also great for nausea because some people around the times of their cycles get nausea. So the ginger is going to help with that. If you're in an Airbnb, even you can seep real ginger. It's always better to seep actual ginger.
Well, that's one thing. That's why we grew up on ginger ale. People don't understand. Like, you know, when I was a little girl, like if I was puking, you're gonna sip on some ginger ale. And I actually, I really try to avoid antiemetics on pregnant women, because even though they say that Zofran is safe, I've seen a lot of patients with babies that are born with septal heart defects. And so I talked to them and said, listen, I said, there's nothing that says I can't give you this, but this is what I've seen. Can I recommend something natural? And I recommend ginger or ginger chews, and they do really, really well with it.
Yeah, no, I actually even go over how to do ginger. So what I tell them is to seep it actually longer. Until it actually has more of like a burn to it when it's going down. So, and that helps with the nausea a lot because you want the ginger to actually have a ginger bit to it. So a bitterness to it so that you actually make sure you have enough ginger. And I found that, and I tell that to my pregnant patients. So I know that ginger seeped for at least 10 to 20 minutes really works well. Again, we're talking about just bloating or nausea specifically.
So what about the women that I know for me, when I was much younger and my periods would hit, like those prostaglandins, whew, goodness. So I would have like really, really bad cramps, but I would also have like really bad diarrhea. And so for some women, they don't understand why they get diarrhea during their cycles. Is there anything that they can do leading up to Carnival or that FET period that they can do to mitigate possible diarrhea during that window?
For the diarrhea, that's a harder one. I can't think of something off for just the diarrhea alone. Yeah, not the ginger chamomile. The diarrhea alone is harder to address.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have I don't have an answer for that one.
We'll put a pin in it and figure out what we can. I would co-sign the chamomile tea for the diarrhea. No, the chamomile tea is not for diarrhea. Okay, I'm trying to settle cramps instantly. Okay, but not for
chamomile. And I mentioned the chamomile, earlier. That would help.
Them Slick CEO says she always gets diarrhea when she's on her period. Yeah, it's a very.
I do want to say something about probiotics. People talk a lot about probiotics, but not the specifics of probiotics. So the thing with probiotics and taking them for any kind of GI distress is that I always tell people that what I have in my diet is different than what he or she or the child over there has in their diet. So when we're talking probiotics, there are a few, if you get the actual names, and I have a few that have shown to help with urinary tract issues or GI issues. So because most of us don't go through and know which probiotics work in which specific areas, nor is there a way to test which probiotics are lacking in your system. What I often recommend to people is that when you're talking or looking at a probiotic, you want to pick at least one that has 5 different, it's a 5 and 10, 5 different strains of lactobacillus. Preferably, 10 billion. So 5 different strains of lactobacillus and 10 billion colony forming units. So the amounts of colonies that are in a probiotic are going to be on the bottle. But again, I'm recommending at least 5 different strains of lactobacillus because again, we don't know which organisms are lacking in your system, whether we're talking about your vaginal system or whether we're talking about your GI system. And this goes to men as well. So for the men who are listening, you can take probiotics as well, especially men who are not going to the toilet on a regular, even having good probiotics in your system is going to help with that regulation because the probiotic is putting good bacteria back into your colon, back into your system in general, but definitely into your colon. So again, you want to make sure you've got at least 5 strains and 10 billion colony forming units. It's going to say that on the bottle.
5 strains, 10 billion colony forming units. That's a mouthful. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and see if there's any more other questions that pop through. No, that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add? You want to get some wine? I want some wine.
No, I think, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we talked about this like a few months back, and I was like, okay, and then life got busy. You had just moved, and I was like, oh, and then one of my followers were like, hey, what about your period? I was like, oh, crap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
no,
me have that back. You know, so I'm just really grateful that you took out the time to come on here. I don't know about you, but or you, when I say you, I'm talking about everybody else. I got my mind blown today. I really did. I'm so glad I had this talk. I'm really glad. So I just really appreciate you. If you guys are not following Vagina Talks MD, Vagina _ Talks _ MD.
That's me.
Go over there and follow her. She has some very great content. Check her out and show her some love. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that was fun. I hope this was super informative to you. I'm definitely going to put this on my IG Live probably tomorrow morning. So we definitely got to share the knowledge. I'll put it on when most people are on. Share this with as many people as possible. We had some pearls for men and women. We learned how to pee standing out. Her @ is vagina _ talks _ MD. I'm going to text it right now. Please follow her. All right. Bam. Did you guys get it? Okay. Right there. Thank you so much. The TikTok content is very fun. If you guys are not following me on TikTok, please do. I create content for TikTok that doesn't come onto Instagram and vice versa. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This was probably one of the most fun talks I've had in a really, really good, long time. This was great. If you guys have any recommendations about any other talks or people that I should bring on to the platform, please do. Like I said, I hope this was super helpful. It will be on my IGTV probably sometime tomorrow. Kayla Kambari, yes, you missed out on all the fun, but the IGTV will be available tomorrow morning. Please share with as many people when I drop it tomorrow. Until then, I look forward to seeing you guys in Miami. If you're coming, I look forward to seeing you guys. We're prepping, we're gearing up. Be sure to hit my Amazon storefront. I have a lot of lists. I have masquerader essentials, things for the road, things for Juve. I think I spent like the past 2 or 3 days matching people footwear to their costumes. And I got shoes in there that I believe will be comfortable for you, and they're less than $55 because it does not make any sense for you to spend $120 for Carnival shoes. You're going to get them scuffed up anyway. So be sure to show me some love in the Amazon storefront. There's lots of useful things in there for you. I am playing Mass with Euphoria. And I'm doing Juve with Red Ants. I will be going also to Citrus, Viva, Soaker Brainwash, and SSS Blue. So I will be a little bit all over the place. We got some surprises coming, so stay tuned in the stories. I do have an Instagram takeover happening also in Miami Carnival. You guys will get more information about that sometime next week, tentatively. Citrus and Brainwash. Yeah, I have to literally get off the plane. I have to dress up really cute and maybe do my makeup at the airport, get off the plane, and go straight to Citrus. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And because I don't want to get there late, because if I don't get to eat anything, I'm going to be mad. And you guys know I'm serious about my food. Spend all that money and not get to eat. That is not the way to set the tone for my trip. Love to see me at Toronto Carnival. I'm trying to see what's good with Caravana. We will definitely see. I think I want a costume. So we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. You know, COVID is still very much a thing. You know, so we will definitely see. Does anybody have any questions for me before I get off this thing? I do have some content dropping. I will be working on, you know, Juve tips. And I think there was something else that I was going to talk about. be sure, the Caribbean groupie, hello, hello. Be sure to do me a favor if you guys are not. Hit up the Who to Follow highlights. The Who to Follow highlights is links to other West Indian content creators that I feel that you should be following, just to show love to them as well. Could I DM you after I get off live for shoe help, because I've been searching and I didn't even buy my shoes yet? You know what? I'm gonna do one more Call Me Taj, because you wanna know why I'm not doing anymore? Because I haven't even picked out my shit yet. I don't even know what I'm wearing to any of these fets. I haven't picked out my Juve outfits. I haven't picked out anything because I've been taking care of everybody else. But Call Me Taj, you can be the last person to send me a costume and I will take care of you. A place to find cute Juve wear. So some more 88. Listen, and I'm gonna talk about this in my video. You can look. I personally prefer like swimwear for Juve, because you're gonna get wet. You're gonna paint and powder. And then, like, you know, if you're wearing a t-shirt, you know, if it's wet, it's going to get heavy and it's going to get sticky. I prefer swimwear and a pair of black fishnets and I wear my combat boots that have the zippers in it. But as it pertains to footwear, you should wear probably what I call shit kickers. And shit kickers are raggedy shoes. You're not going to wear your nice shoes, okay? Does the band provide Juve wear? Some bands provide Juve wear. Like I know Red Ants does, or I know that Ramage provides something to wear for Juve. It just really depends on the band. I personally just do not prefer a t-shirt. Like I know that Ramage provided like a t-shirt, and you can buy extra, like a little bodysuit or something like that. Go on a cheap website you can get on Amazon, or go on Zaffle and get you a swimsuit or something, get you some fishnets and the other stuff that I'm going to talk about in the video, and then you're good to go. I don't like shirts. It's too sticky and clingy, okay? But we'll talk about that. I'll try to get that done this weekend and posted sometime next week. Call me Jay. Go ahead and hit me up with your costume, and we can see what we can find for you. Until then, have a safe weekend. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Wear your seatbelt, don't drink and drive, and be a decent human being. We'll talk later.